Okay, so basically the endocrine system is all about glands. Okay, the glands, they produce hormones. Okay, hormones are needed by the blood or the body because, certain functions. Okay, so they're not like the circulatory system. It's not like the circulatory system that goes around. They kind of like inject themselves, so that, for example, let's say this part here, pituitary gland, that's the master gland, it's in the brain. So it controls all of your, glands. This one is the thyroid gland, thymus, pancreas. These are the reproductive glands. So for the women, it's the fallopian tube and the ovaries. For the guys, it's the testes, that produces testosterone. So this one here, this is the thyroid gland. So it's in charge with metabolism. And then also the pancreas. Metabolizes sugar. Okay, so these are very, very important. So I'm going to explain briefly, what is the homeostasis or the pH balance. So the blood has a pH balance of at least 7.35 to 7.45. Okay? If your blood goes below the pH balance, it becomes acid. And then if it goes over, it becomes alkaline. Okay?
What's the normal balance again?
Huh?
What's the normal balance on a pH? 7.5?
Of the blood is 7.35 to 7.45. Okay? So the body is really good because it makes, it keeps the blood, 7.45 to 7.35 to 7.45. What can trigger, the pH balance? What can alter it? Number one, food that you eat. For example, let's say steaks, processed food, alcohol, soda. Okay? Usually, these types of food makes your blood go acid or to the acid state. The one that's always alkaline or at least even is water, 7.40 something. So water is right here. The rest, for example, fruits, vegetables, like for example, lemon. Lemon is an orange. Once you eat it, it's acid. But when you digest it, it becomes alkaline. Almond, same thing. Acid when you eat it, alkaline when you digest lemon. Okay, so besides, the body has ways to make the blood level even or balanced. Number one is by when you urinate, when you exhale, when you poop, and when you sweat. So it releases some of the acid, like for example, uric acid in the urine, carbonic acid when you exhale. Okay, and also there's a process called mineral depletion. So the body depletes minerals. Okay, so for example, the most common minerals we deplete is calcium, iron, magnesium, and iodine. Okay, why is this important? Because for example, let's say you eat a lot of steaks. You don't even out your diet. So you lose these minerals. So if you have poor calcium, So your bone health is very, very poor. So it can lead to fractures, osteoporosis too. Okay? Iron. So what happens when you have low iron? You become anemic. Huh?
Anemic.
Yeah, you become anemic. So when you have anemia, you become too cold, you get tired easily, you don't last long.
And
Okay?
pale.
Yeah, pale. So a lot of problems, usually occurs because of the food that we eat. Magnesium usually gives you energy. So if your magnesium is low, you become lethargic. You can't do anything. Iodine is needed by the thyroid gland. Okay, because of metabolism. Okay, if your iodine is low, you can get like hypothyroidism, or you can get hyperthyroidism. In which case, it affects your metabolism. And then, if your metabolism is sluggish, your metabolism also of sugar becomes more sluggish. So you can lead to like diabetes.
And weight gain.
Yeah, a lot. Huh?
What about goiter?
That means you're a high thyroid. Goiter, that's tumor. You don't have that. Huh?
Is a tumor on your thyroid?
Yeah, I do.
You?
No,
No, you don't. That only happens when you live in a place where there's no iodine. Like for example, if you live up in the mountains, you don't get seafood, or you don't get iodine salt, you're at risk for goiter. And also, this is very common in third world countries because nutrition is poor, because they can't afford it. Like we call that crabs, lobster. That's expensive.
Is that where you get your iodine?
Well, basically, yeah, seafood. But you can get iodine salts.
That's why they put iodine in. So.
Yeah. So everything, all of the problems with the body is usually traced to the food we eat, which alters our blood. In which case, alters our minerals. We have problems like mineral depletion. So even if you drink lots of milk, women, for example, you already have problems metabolizing calcium, and at the same time you're losing calcium, so you're going to get osteoporosis, and also you're at risk for fractures. Okay, so in America, there's a lot of people that take calcium supplements, but if they have like acid reflux disease, it's no good because your stomach has a lot of acid, so we deplete this, which leads to this. If you go to college in nursing school, this is one semester in anatomy. The way that they discuss this.
Yeah.
Yeah. You better take note because that's the way they do it. That's the way they do it.
You know what I just like?
You guys have any questions? So the moral of the story is that make sure everything is equal. For example, let's say we want to drink alcohol or soda. I'm not saying drink alcohol or soda. But at the same time, you might want to add water, like ice. Alright, so you drink soda, lots of ice. If you drink alcohol, lots of ice. I'm just kidding, man, but for soda, ice. For example, steaks. How you balance it? Remember in the restaurant when you eat steaks, they give you vegetables?
Eat your vegetables.
And also at the same time, you can have the steak, marinated with lemon. If you put lemon, remember lemon is acidic, but at the same time when you digest it, it becomes alkaline. So everything, is related. Main thing is everything has to be in moderation. Okay? Processed food, I won't eat processed food, because it has a lot of sodium, which also always affects your heart. Okay? Because, for example, sodium, it attracts water. Anytime you eat lots of salt, it attracts water. And when you have a lot of fluids in your body, it overwhelms the heart. In which case, your blood pressure goes up. Okay? A lot of problems, is usually related to each other. Like, for example, diabetes. if you have diabetes, you have complications of diabetes, which is number one, hypertension. You get blindness. You get
Poor circulation.
wait a minute, blindness, kidney problems, and also what do you call that? PVD, peripheral vascular disease, which is poor circulation, and you get also neuropathies. Okay, so diabetes is a killer. Okay, don't.
What, neuropathy is something with the nerves, what is that?
Yeah,
Nerve
it
damage?
affects the nerves, it damages your nerves. Peripheral vascular disease, this is when you have poor circulation. So that's why, people that have diabetes, number one, we should, are you guys done with this? Okay. So when you have diabetes, you should always have good foot care. Good foot care. Okay, besides that, diet, and then also exercise. So why good foot care? Because of the problems with peripheral vascular disease and neuropathies. Because if you have PVD, you're at risk for like gangrene,
Loss of your foot.
and then which leads to amputation. Because if you don't amputate it, you're gonna get like sepsis. Usually people die from sepsis, systemic infection. All right. So the main thing about diabetes is to make sure you follow a good diet, stick to the diet. You have regular exercise like walking, and also you should always provide good foot care. The nurses, that's your responsibility. Hey, do you have any questions? Any questions?
No.
You guys want to take a break?
Sure.
Okay, come back at 12, okay?